Hey, would you like to know how to source Australian-made products without paying more than your competition? Well, we're going to show you exactly how to do that in the next few minutes. Now, I'm Andrew Grant, and together with my wife, Daryl, we've helped thousands of people all around the world to make their dreams come true by starting their own businesses. Now, I'm here with the legend, the man, the only person you need to know when it comes to this question. This is Steve Eagle, and he's sourced over $1 billion worth of products in 28 different markets. Now, that's all well and good, but what does that mean to you? Well, today we're going to be talking about how to actually source products and get the right price, a fair price for you, and one that's going to be competitive in the marketplace. So having said that, Steve, what are some of the considerations when it comes to sourcing products in Australia? What are the mistakes that people might make? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure, Andrew. I guess the biggest mistake that I see when people are approaching this question about how to source a product in Australia at the right price and outpace your competitors with your pricing is that they simply approach the question the wrong way when starting to talk with the manufacturer. It's very normal that people who are inexperienced at this, or maybe have been taught by somebody who doesn't really know some of the secrets in the industry, to approach a manufacturer and simply ask for a quote. Hey, Mr. Manufacturer, I've got this product. Can you please give me a quote? Right now, unfortunately, by doing that, you evaporate all the leverage you have with that manufacturer, right? It's the wrong way to approach. Price is a symptom of work done. It's never the thing that you should be focused on. You should be focused on instead creating value and creating a high quality product that does the things your customers deeply, deeply want. Then the price is a symptom of that work. So what are some of the ways that we get around this to achieve ultimate outcomes in negotiation? The first one is go to the negotiation prepared. If you don't have target pricing and don't understand the manufacturing process and the raw materials being used, you're already on the back foot. You can't negotiate well because you can't talk thoroughly about your product and sound like you actually understand what you're talking about from the manufacturer's perspective. The manufacturer, when you walk into their shop and ask for a product to be made, they're thinking about, can you afford it? Are we going to sell? How does my business as a manufacturer make money dealing with somebody like you who's wanting a product to be made? For me to calculate that as a manufacturer, I've got to understand my production costs. How much labor is being used? What sort of machines do I run? What raw materials am I processing? What types of purchase parts are required in your product? And then ultimately, what is a fair price for the time I need to spend making your stuff? If you don't understand those principles around how manufacturers evaluate cost, you're on the back foot from square one. So in my process, I spend a bit of time researching those five elements of production before I even start talking to my manufacturer, so that I completely understand where this is likely to go in terms of talking about price, but also that I'm not sacrificing something in that price discussion that could be very important to my customer.
So what you're basically saying is that the biggest mistake that a lot of people make is they just ring up when they want to know the price of something. They ring up and say, how much does it cost for that? Can you give me a quote? Have you ever done that? Let me know in the chat box if that's been you. Give us a comment if you, or not, maybe not you, but do you know anybody that's ever done that? Okay, and going in there, but also then, even if you don't do that, just going in blind. Now, I know you do a little bit of work on finding out how to do these things, and you do cost estimating. You estimate your cost, so you probably know what it's actually going to cost before you actually walk in. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And surprisingly, it's easier than you think. There are only 5 things to measure in manufacturing. There's the labor rates, the cycle times, the process and the machinery around that process, your raw materials, and your purchase parts. If you can comprehend those 5 elements in manufacturing, you can dissect the cost of any product that's ever been made. Now, this is how your manufacturer thinks of cost. It makes sense that you align yourself to how they're thinking about pricing.
Great. Is there anything else that we need to know? Is that the main problems, or is there anything else?
Look, that's a core one, but there are other strategies as well. If you understand what we're just talking about in pricing, that sets up a different style of negotiation. You see, if you've done some forecasting like that, there are only really 2 possible outcomes in negotiation. One is the manufacturer recognizes and agrees with your method and therefore your pricing, and therefore you've got a good deal. Or they don't agree with your method, they don't agree with your pricing, and then you ask the question, can you help me understand? Because it's very likely that being new to manufacturing, or if you've been doing this the wrong way for a while, that asking that question, can you help me understand will educate you on the missing stuff that you don't know, the little secrets that that manufacturer specifically uses to make their product quality competitive, outstanding, different, unique, interesting, everything that gives them their competitive edge. You need to know that. Now, the benefit of approaching negotiation this way is you can forecast the outcomes. If Mr. Manufacturer says, oh, no, you don't understand our process, it's X, Y, and Z, you can decide if that's valuable for you or not and negotiate on it. If the manufacturer, on the other hand, says, yeah, actually, you're right, your understanding of what we do is pretty accurate, that's a fair price, that's what we think, then great, you found yourself a manufacturer. So it's very easy with this approach to forecast where the negotiation is going to go, secure the best possible pricing for a high-value, high-quality Australian-made product.
Okay, so that's all very interesting and everything like that, but what's been the general results? You've done this process in big companies out there, like household name companies, and you've also done a little companies. You've taken over 3,000 products to market, and over $1 billion in actual products. What's the general percentage that you save by using this approach to the calling up and saying how much is it?
Yeah, sure. So we regularly see 30 to 50% cheaper prices on quotations. So if you measure the first quote to a quote following my process, that's typical, as we'd see 30 to 50%. In my process of cost estimating, we're often landing between 2 and 5% away from actual pricing. And that's ahead of actually even speaking to a manufacturer. By the time we contract everything, we're on a very, very narrow margin, and that's perfect. We know exactly what our business is going to perform like.
Cool. So that's 30 to 50% savings by using this system that Steve's just talking about. So you're welcome. Okay. No. Only do this. Don't do this system if you don't like money, but you might want to actually give it a go. Okay. Just joking, guys. Hey, why don't you leave us a message below if you like what you've heard today. If you want to know more about it, click and subscribe below. We have lots of videos coming out on this channel that talks about how you can source Australian-made products in a way that's really profitable for you. So thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. So guys, if you like the idea of what you've heard today and you want to know more about it, and you want to know how to source products at the right price and how to do that cost estimating, hang around, put comments below. We're happy to feedback and give as much information as we can. Love to hear from you. Put some comments below. Talk to you soon.